How you doing, good people? This is the 8-Bit Animal. And there was a point in time where random companies were putting out arcade games based on Marvel characters. Not just Marvel characters, just comic book characters in general. You had Taito with the Superman game that had 2 Supermen playable. It was 2-player. That was weird. Then you had Sega's Spider-Man game, which was also a beat 'em up. Most of these superhero games were beat 'em ups, by the way. Before Capcom got their hooks in the Marvel license and started dropping all the fighting games, they also had they did the Punisher, and Konami had the X-Men game and the Bucky O'Hare game because that was a comic book. And so somewhere in that minutia, Data East emerges. Data East, the people that gave us Burger Time and Bump and Jump and Karate Champ and Carnoff, Bad Dudes, them. 1991, something around that time. Well, 1990, I want to say, for their arcade game. And they messed around and made Captain America and the Avengers and dropped it in arcades. And by and large, it was a pretty good game. You played as one of 4 Avengers: Captain America, Hawkeye, Iron Man, or Vision. And you fought Red Skull's cadre of villains. Everybody from Living Laser and Claw to Whirlwind to the Mandarin to Juggernaut, though an awful rendition of Juggernaut. Ultron, eventually Red Skull himself. And the game wasn't bad. It was a beat 'em up. It had like some shmup levels sprinkled in there. Random little appearances by like Quicksilver, Wonder Man, and Wasp, and it was okay. And then home versions started to pop up of that, and the Genesis version port of that game wasn't bad. It was close to arcade perfect. Mindscape also did a port of that particular one, and it wasn't great. It was it kind of sucked. Well, Data East also decided to release an NES game based on this. And that NES game is what we're going to talk about today. The NES port of Captain America and the Avengers. Well, so here's the thing with that. It's not necessarily, it's nowhere near the same thing. Has the same characters in it, but not the same game at all. The game starts off with the Mandarin zapping Iron Man and Vision and capturing them. So you control Captain America and Hawkeye. For some reason, they're separated. They're in like random cities, and you gotta bring them together. Once you bring them together, they move around. Instead of moving around with little representations of their heads, you move around the map with an A for Avengers. And you go to different cities. Wasp tells you where you need to go, and Wasp also gives you a lot of useless information that you already know from the manual. But you go to these different cities, you fight your way through them. You have to collect these gems in order to lift barriers to get to the exits, stuff like that. And the problem is, all of these levels kind of look the same. They changed the colors of walls and stuff, but same game. The whole thing is like 3 or 4 different levels, different variations on the levels. And it's super repetitive. It's really dull. It takes a little over an hour to beat, and it's an incredibly dull experience. I'm kind of sad that I liked this game as much as I did when I was a little kid. But it's one of those things that you sadly see the game for what it is as you get older. Those rose-colored glasses are off, and you understand why certain games aren't popular and why certain games are kind of rare. They're not rare because they didn't sell a bunch of copies. They're rare because the game wasn't good and they didn't sell a bunch of copies. And the problem with this game isn't even that it's not a good game. It's just so dry. It's so uninspired and dry and dull. After you play about 5 levels of this and realize all the levels are the same, you get tired of playing it. I mean, I did. This is bleh. But yeah, they also shoehorned like a versus mode in here to kind of make up for not making Iron Man and Vision playable characters, and that isn't fun either. But you know, what you gonna do? It was Data East, and Data East, I give other companies a hard time. Data East kind of stunk up the joint a little bit too. They gave us Burger Time, but NES port of Burger Time ain't nothing to write home about either. Let's go ahead and keep it a buck. But yeah, if you decide you want a copy of Captain America and the Avengers, $50. Every loose cart copy I saw of this game is going for about $50. And I guarantee you, I would not want you to pay more than that for this game. Honestly, I don't want you paying that much for it. Figure out a way to play this and do your damnedest to get this game for cheaper than $50 for a loose cart. For real. Because this ain't worth $50, bro. This has been the 8-Bit Animal, and I'll catch you beautiful people tomorrow.
8-Bit Animal.
Tomorrow, we take a look at a game based on a show from the early days of Fox Kids. I'm sorry. I really am sorry.